Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sana IE. It's your first time listening. I'm your host, XO. And on Sana IE, we cover mental health, all the aspects of mental health, the ins and outs, the nitty gritty of mental health, and what mental health is and means to us. My goal, my purpose here is to educate us on mental health, the different topics that I come across, different researches that I found, different people that I associate with, and people that can really help us better our mental health when it comes to a personal level, spiritual level, financial level, anything of that nature, figuring out our coping mechanisms, figuring out what triggers us, figuring out where our energy is going. But overall, Sana'i is here for you, to help us grow as individuals, to grow as human beings. On this episode, or throughout this month as well, we've been discussing financial literacy because finances play a big part when it comes to our mental health, when it comes to learning about what is financial literacy, especially if we wasn't taught about financial literacy in school. And it's rarely taught. These days, financial literacy has become, they shed the light on financial literacy where it's like a big thing now. So this month of April is Financial Literacy Month, and we've been covering different financial topics. We started the month off with what is financial literacy. Then we got into bank accounts and emergency funds. Then the next episode was 5 keys to financial literacy. Then we talked about, do you know how to budget? And then the last episode that I dropped Wednesday, we discussed what is debt. So in this episode, we're going to be discussing about debt don't live here anymore. And this episode is really talking about eliminating your debt consolidation, or minimizing your debt, whatever pertains to you. But I want to thank y'all for tuning into today's episode. Let's kick off the show with some quotes of the day. My first quote is, wake up with determination and go to sleep with satisfaction. And that's real. Every day, whether if you had a shitty day yesterday, a shitty week, today is a new day. And you got to wake up with that determination to accomplish what you want. Set out your 3 big goals or 3 big tasks for the day and accomplish those. Whether it's like you were like, okay, I want to start creating a morning routine, or you want to start going to the gym, or you want to start eating better, or you want to start reading more. Whatever your 3 daily goals are, your goals for today, those 3 goals, wake up determined to accomplish them. And figure out the night before. Like tonight, if you're like, all right, I'm going to go through today, learning what I can. But tomorrow, you're going to like wake up that determination to accomplish your goals and tasks that you set the night before. So whatever your determination is, whatever your goals are for the day, wake up with that determination to accomplish them. And then go to sleep with satisfaction. Go to sleep satisfied that you put all that you can in for today. And you'll continue that journey on to tomorrow. It's like every day we got to focus on getting 1% better in every aspect of our lives. So wake up with determination and go to sleep with satisfaction. My next quote is, regret is the thing we should fear most. Failure is an answer. Rejection is an answer. Regret is an eternal question you will never have the answer to. Regret. We all have some type of regret in our lives, whether it's a failed relationship, failed at a job, not going to college, anything of that nature where we have that regret. And we always we question ourselves. We constantly question ourselves and not really finding the answer. But we have to look at the bigger picture when it comes to regret. What lesson did you learn with that regret? It's like the regret gets overshadowed with the questions of, damn, I should do this, or why didn't I do this? And not that we go on that back and forth instead of stepping back, analyzing like, yeah, I regretted that, but what is the lesson that I learned within that regret? And really taking that lesson and moving on. Like right now, it's like looking back at 5 years ago. You may have a regret from 5 years ago. And then looking ahead toward the future, 5 years from now, where you want to be. And asking yourself, do I want to have that same regret, or do I want to put that time and that work in right now? So 5 years from now, my future self will thank me for the time that I put in now, the work that I put in now to better your future. So it's like that regret. We sometimes let that regret hold a cloud over us instead of letting that regret go and really taking the lesson out of that regret and letting that regret be what it was, closing that chapter and moving forward. So once again, that quote is, regret is the thing we should fear most. Failure is an answer. Rejection is an answer. Regret is an eternal question you will never have the answer to. We're going to kick off the show with some statistics about debt. And this segment is called Debt Don't Live Here Anymore. If you heard of the song Love Don't Live Here Anymore, that's where the inspiration came from. And I was like, oh, this is perfect for this first segment that we're about to jump into. Americans are buried in debt from mortgages, credit cards, personal loans, bills, and student loans. And the amount owed in total is on the rise. In fact, in 2020, Experian reported that an average American owes approximately $92,727 in total debt. That's the highest amount on record in the US. Debt. So 92,000, according to Americans, were buried in mortgages, credit cards, personal loans, bills, and student loans. And it's like I believe we weren't educated enough to know about mortgages, credit cards, personal loans, bills, and student loans. So I'm working on a financial literacy segment with my good guy, Ron Curtis, about really educating each other, educating ourselves when it comes to mortgages, when it comes to credit cards, when it comes to personal loans. So we're more educated, so we know and we have that information before we take that leap to put ourselves in that debt. Because overall, debt, there's good debt, there's bad debt, which we discussed in the last episode. But it's really figuring out what debt works for us and not getting overwhelmed when it comes to debt. I know nowadays a lot of people are looking for mortgages, looking for homes, and really understanding the home buying process. And I'm gonna have an episode about that next month. We're gonna have an episode about that, talking about the home buying process and mortgages, and learning which loans to get and which loans work out for you. But let's continue this. I bet you're wondering, who's carrying the most debt? What generation carries the most debt? Well, members of Generation X owes about $140,643. And that's followed by baby boomers who owe $97,290. And then millennials owe $87,448. This debt includes mortgages, student loans, credit cards, and other types of personal debt. According to a 2020 study by Capital One, being deep in debt can be stressful to your health. The worry over how to pay the bills and budget or even write a shopping list carries a heavy burden. So being deep in debt, where we at in debt, the statistics said Generation X owes $140,000, followed by baby boomers, then millennials. Wherever you at in your debt journey, because it is a journey when it comes to debt, really understanding where you are and understanding when you want to get out and how to get out. Because I know one of the biggest things is student loans. Student loans debt. It's like you're waiting for Biden to cut that all together. But what if he doesn't? What is going to be your plan B or plan C to get rid of your student loans? And that's what that episode is for today. Because I know a lot of people that I've been talking to, a lot of people are in college and whatnot, and they have student loan debts that they don't worry about now, because they know overall student loan is like an appreciating asset, because you took out that loan with the incentive to advance your career, whether you want to be a lawyer, a doctor, business owner, whatever it is. You took out that student loan because you saw in your future self in that career path that you've chosen that will pay back those student loans. But what if, with these days, you know how inflation is, what if that career doesn't pay you enough to where you're in student loans throughout your whole life, and you don't have that plan because you've been banking on the government to extinguish that student loan, or you've been banking on that career to finish it? So it's like having that plan for yourself and knowing, like, what if it doesn't work out? What if I have to really put a plan together for myself to get out of this deep hole? And that's what this episode is about, really eliminating, minimizing, and reducing that debt. Digging yourself out of debt can boost your mental and physical health. Also, having more income freed up from debt may mean greater financial confidence, morale, and better opportunities to save for the future. We all want to save for our future. We all want that financial freedom to where we can do what we want, when we want, with who we want in the future, and not have no obligations. So it all starts now. And this goes back to the quote of the day, the second quote, where it's talking about regret. It's like you can put the work in now so you don't have that regret later in life, that regret 5 years down the line, or you cannot put in the work and you'll be regretting not taking the time to advance yourself when it comes to your finances. And I know you're thinking like, okay, I really want to minimize my debt or eliminate my debt or consolidate my debt. What are some of the ways I can do that? Well, financial experts often recommend two ways to tackle the debt. There's the Avalanche method and the Snowball method. Both plans help you focus on your approach to paying down your debt. And I bet you're wondering, what is the Avalanche and Snowball method? An Avalanche approach means you pay off your loans and credit cards with the highest interest rates first. Then you throw as much money as you can at them and pay only the minimum on the rest of your debts or loans. So, whatever your highest interest rate is, look at your bills, get your bill statements, your loan statements, whatever it is, and look at what are you paying the most on? If you're paying my most is my student loans right now. Well, figure out how to double up on that. How can you double your payments so you can really get rid of that student loan faster? You may want to be like, all right, I need to cut back in some areas of my life to where I can really pay this off, because 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I don't want to be continuously paying them student loans debts when you can really figure out a plan now. So 5 to 10 years from now, you're out of that student loan problem. So the Avalanche approach may work for you, or you may like the Snowball approach, where the Snowball approach has you tackle the lowest amount of debt first. You pay it off, then you tackle the next loan. So it's like you're starting small. That's why it's the snowball effect, because you know how little snowballs are. And it's like you're taking them small steps to pay that off. But maybe you're like, nah, I want to pay this off in lump sums, where you take that Avalanche approach and you're just continuously throwing up double the money. Every month you're paying 2 times as much. And it's for the overall benefits, where you're like, okay, so I know 5 years from now, maybe 7 years from now, you'll have that student loan slate cleaned. So it's really figuring out which one works for you. And the next segment, we're going to be jumping into tips on eliminating your debt. I hope this helped you out so far, but thank you for tuning in. I'll be right back with Sana IE. If you're like me and you're like, man, I'm good at budgeting, but I'd rather have an app that's better for budgeting and that's good for me. Well, I got that app for you. That app would be called Digit. Digit is an app to help you budget your money, help you save for expenses, save for emergency funds, save for vacations, and really you don't have to really stress about, how do I pay this? How am I going to pay this? What to put away? What percentage do I put away? Digit does all that for you. And with this, as you're listening right now, Digit will give you a free trial. You use my affiliation code at the end in the show notes. You'll be greatly appreciated. So let me know what you think. Use Digit. Let's get back to the show. Tips on eliminating debt. Number 1, face facts. If you've been trying to make your bills vanish by throwing them away unopened, or even storing them in the drawer, or even put them in a paper shredder, then the first step is accountability. You know what you signed up for. This isn't your first rodeo, or maybe it is, but avoiding your bills won't make them go away. It'll really put you deeper in debt by avoiding them and not paying them. So what you should do is clear up your desk or a kitchen table, or get the apps Digit or Every Dollar. Get out all of your loan statements, bills, and start creating a budget plan for yourself, or a repayment plan for yourself. Basically, everything you can think of that relates to your finances, start adding them. The loan and credit card payments and the bills for essentials will represent your base payments. If these are already substantially exceed your net income, you will either have to change your lifestyle significantly by selling your house, or getting a smaller apartment, or taking on a second job, or even filing for bankruptcy. Or there may be some other steps you can take depending on where you are. First, you need to make a plan. So facing facts. This tip right here is really finding out your plan, getting out all your loan statements, getting out all your debt, bills, every bill that you have, whether it's utilities, your mortgage, your student loans, your credit card bills, all of those, and really adding those up all together and figuring out, okay, how can I put these apart, or figure out what are my base payments? What are your base payments when it comes to the debt that you're in, or the budget that you're making? Figure out where your credit card payments are and your bills, and making sure those are covered. And then working your way up when it comes to a budget. Like I said, if you're not good at budgeting, check out the app Every Dollar and the app Digit. I'll leave my affiliate codes in the show notes so you can just click those and go right to the apps, and it'll really help you out when it comes to budgeting or creating that budget for yourself. Me personally, I'm still working on mastering budgeting, but these apps have been a tremendous help to me. And this leads up to our next tip, which is repayment. Not all debts are created equal. When making your plan, you'll need to establish a hierarchy among your debts and make a plan of attack. Experts say to target the high interest debt first, then non-deductible low interest debt next, and then followed by tax deductible debt last. So having those plans, figuring out which is your highest interest debt, and then going on to the next deductible, non-deductible low interest rate, and then tax deductible debt next, and really following that line. It's best to pay off the high interest rates, high debts first, because it gives you that sign of relief. It gives you like a weight lifted off your shoulders. So you're like, all right, I'll pay that off. And it feels like a victory. You feel like you won, like, okay. Even when you're planning or creating that budget, it still feels like you're lifting that weight off your shoulders because you have a plan to really accomplish what you need to. And just sticking to that plan is the biggest thing. Also, keep a single credit card for emergencies and quit carrying the rest. I know you're thinking right now, like, one credit card? Yes, one credit card. Focus on that one credit card, whatever it is that you have good history with and a high credit limit. But don't abuse that limit, and getting really familiarized with that credit card and knowing the ins and outs, the goods and bad of that credit card. And like I said, putting the rest away, throwing the rest in the drawer, and not really trying to use them or tempted to use them. Reason being, because it's time for a cash-only diet. And this will help you stick to your repayment plan. Ideally, you should try to save it for an emergency fund. And if you don't know what an emergency fund is, 3 episodes back, we discussed bank accounts and emergency funds. Great insight on what emergency funds and how to create them. Tip number 3, get the damage report. Check your credit score and review your credit report for inaccuracies or patterns of bad behavior. You can get your credit rating the same way lenders and landlords do, from each of the 3 credit bureaus. And if you don't know what the 3 are, it's Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Once you have the report, check if it's accurate and identify the accounts dragging your rating down. It only takes 1 or 2 late payments to move from a green rating to a red. If you have late payments on all of your credit accounts, you maybe find yourself in the high risk category. Check your due dates and pay them at least 1 week before the due date or statement date. And that's where a lot of people get confused on when it comes to credit cards and paying back. They want to pay on that due date or that statement date. You have to call your credit card and really ask them, hey, when do you guys report to the credit bureaus, and figuring out that report, their report date, so you paying ahead of time so you're not getting dragged into the red rating because you're trying to pay on time. It's like it's different paying on that statement date or due date versus paying on that report date, because whenever they report to the credit bureaus, will help you out so you can pay before that time. That leads us to tip number 4, gaining control. Get rid of troublesome accounts and pay down your overall debt on time. Use automatic payments and tighten up your budget to get your debt under control. This will keep your credit rating from getting worse, and over time will improve it. So paying down that debt and getting rid of those troublesome accounts. Automatic payments are a lifesaver. They're a lifesaver. They'll help you out. They'll reduce the stress, and setting up them automatic payments for your bills, for your debt, save that relief for you. And if you're like, I'm bad with money and budgeting and really keeping money in my account, that's where, again, the app Digit comes in, because you can put that total, whatever you owe. Let's say you owe $2,000 a month. That's your total budget or total bills for the month. You can set that up in Digit, and it will create the daily outcomes to where it'll be like, all right, you're paying $15 a day, and they'll take that out your bank account and put into that separate bank account on Digit. So when it's time to pay up, you have that money there instead of worrying, where's this money gonna come from? How am I gonna get this money? Or really taking it out of your savings. So take control of your financial budget. Creating a budget is the first step. If you aren't good at budgeting, see who around you is good at budgeting. Are there people around you that's good when it comes to financial budgeting? Ask people around you, ask the elders in your life. I feel like people in my life, my aunties, my uncles, and everything. I feel like they're great when it comes to budgeting and things like that. That's why I started asking them and them having them educate me when it comes to budgeting, because us in our generation, we like to spend first, save second, when it should be the other way around, and really paying yourself first. So ask anybody around you, hey, are you good at budgeting? Do you know what budget is? And you'll be surprised who's been good at budgeting, especially when it comes to your parents, your uncles, even your grandparents. Asking them and seeing, how can I, what steps did you take to become a financial expert or an expert when it comes to budgeting? And it's all about working on getting that 1% better at budgeting every day. Budgeting is a key skill to life. I'm personally working on my time budget as well as my financial budget. I'm not perfect, but I know where I want to be when it comes financially, and mastering budgeting is a key skill that I'll acquire. So if you're good at budgeting yourself, you're like, I'm a great budgeter, let us know, help us out. We got a Facebook group, Sanai. Let's talk about ways to budget our financial situation and really open up and not being afraid to ask for help. That's the biggest thing when it comes to anything in our lives. We're like afraid to ask for help, and it's like we can't do that. If we want to improve, evolve, become a better in our lives, we have to reach out and ask for help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. But I'm gonna give y'all a brief break, and I'm gonna be right back with Sana I.E. Have you been wondering, how can I build my credit with a secured credit card? Well, do I have the bank for you? I've been making with Chime lately. I've been making with Chime for some years now, and they just started the Credit Builder credit card, where you build credit with that credit card, and it's like a secured credit card to where it only takes out whatever funds you have on that credit card. And I've been loving it. It's been helping me build my credit. It really helped me build my credit up. It gave me like at least over time, it built my credit up at least 100 points plus. I'm not too sure, but it's been helping me build my credit. And if you've been wondering, or you want to know, like, I want to do that too, I want to be a part of the Chime family, well, look in the show notes, and I got my affiliate link for you to where you can really use Chime, and I believe they give you an additional deposit or some type of financial advancement on whenever you sign up, especially using an affiliate link. So use my link. It'll be in the show notes. Let's get back to the show. And we back, and we back, and we back, and we back. Next tip is doubling down. Whenever possible, double up the payments of your highest interest debt. Although it's not quite as effective as consolidating, doubling up on payments can speed up the payback period. Once you've eliminated the high interest debt, double up payments on the next highest debt. This strategy is called the debt avalanche. Doubling up on your payments and really paying off debt. It depends on where you want to be. If you're like, I'm cool with my debt is now, or you're like, I want to get rid of this debt, then you'll have to do the debt avalanche and really double down or double up on some of the payments that you're paying, especially when it comes to high interest debt. I know you're thinking like, why would I want to double up on my payments? Well, it's a faster way of eliminating your debt and brings you closer to financial freedom. So what do you want to be in, debt prison or financial freedom? The choice is yours. And that leads us to number 6. It's your debt. Getting out of debt usually means making some painful decisions. If you're simply too far behind, it might be time for some drastic measures. The softest cuts come in the form of substitution, which may be a walk in the park instead of a gym membership, a staycation over a vacation or a vacation, home cooked meals over eating out. Making those small substitutions helps out in a long way. It really helps you get closer to eliminating that debt that you have. Harder cuts come in the form of selling whatever non-essential items you can live without. Any money raised from selling non-essential stuff should go toward a lump sum payment against your highest debt. Selling items like old clothes, purses, phones, electronics, home appliances, or even having a yard sale and selling those things. You may want to go and offer up Facebook Marketplace, Poshmark, anything like that where you can sell things, sell some of your items to other people, so you don't really have to stress yourself out like, how am I going to get this money? Do I have to cut back on this? It's like really using that substitution method and really getting control of your debt and seeing What non-essential items don't I need that I just sit in my house collecting dust, or sit in my apartment collecting dust, and really using those or selling those items and getting out there, like I said, on OfferUp, Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace, and really selling the items that you don't use like that. Also, don't use your credit cards when you're in debt. Closing credit cards reduces the amount of credit available to you and increases your credit utilization ratio. Two things that can hurt you when it comes to your credit score. So don't close out the credit cards, put them in a drawer, put them away, and only keep that one credit card for yourself. Number 7, teamwork makes the dream work. One wise step in processing of getting out of debt is to meet with a credit counselor. Don't be afraid to ask for help. This option is much more helpful if you do it before you are desperate. A credit counselor will provide many helpful tips and make sure that you are on the right track with your repayment plans. They may also provide support when you meet with your creditors, adding some professional weight to any negotiating that you want to do. Even if you're in a desperate situation, still reach out and ask for help. We all need help when it comes to life, when it comes to our finances. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Look for that credit counselor. Look for the people within your family who paid off their debts, who are debt-free now, who are excellent at budgeting. Sometimes our family members can help us out when we're in a tough spot. We're just afraid to ask for help, or we don't want to look foolish. But it's not looking foolish or feeling like you're vulnerable. It's like, yo, I need help, and really asking for that help. Asking for help shows strength and shows that you're trying to learn to get better at this aspect or this place in your life that you're not doing well in. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Reaching out for help to a credit counselor, to your family members, or even to me, where we can set up with the right people to help you get out of the situation that you're in. Number 8, and the final tip, renegotiate. Now it's time to meet with your creditors. Do your homework before you go and make sure you have all the documents in order. If you're working with a credit counselor, plan out your approach in advance. Call your creditors and check out your outstanding debts. If you owe more than one creditor, start with the one with which you have the best history with. Come up with a renegotiation plan with each creditor and talk about them with it. Also show them your budget plan and what you've been working on. Sometimes the evidence, the documents that you have yourself, you show them like, yo, I've been working on my repayment plan. This is my repayment plan. You guys are the first person I'm coming to because I want to pay down y'all debt first because we have good history with each other. And really renegotiating your debt and really consolidating it. You'll be surprised how many creditors or how many people will let you renegotiate your plans or payment plans or however it is. You just have to really do your homework and call them up and have conversations with them. You trying to figure it out on your own, not asking for help or not really doing your homework and researching like, what are ways I can repay or pay down this debt? There are ways that are not discussed, but you'll have to really do the research, go Google and find which ways work out for you. And overall, that's it. That's it for this episode. Debt don't live here anymore. Hopefully this helps you out, get out of your debt problems when it comes to student loans, mortgages, credit cards, anything of that nature. Hopefully these tips helped you out. Hopefully this gave you some insight when it came to statistics and what's being owed. I appreciate y'all. If you haven't checked out our website yet, check out sanai.com. We dropped the latest in the merch. The link will be in the show notes. And if you know anybody that this show will help who's in debt, who needs a better insight, a clear insight on debt, share this with them. Share this with a family member. Share this with a friend. Share this with a coworker. Share this with anybody you know who it will help. My goal is to help anybody, as many people as I can, as well as educate them in the process. I want to thank you for sticking around, listening to the show. I know it was very educational, it was very insightful, especially when it comes to debt, when it comes to really getting your debt together and really taking control of your debt, taking control of your finances and not letting that conquer you or be your downfall. But with that being said, let me leave y'all with this. Spend more time on what gives you energy and less on what takes it away. Have a good weekend.